Hello, everybody. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare. I am a few minutes late, but hope you guys are all doing well and happy Thursday. And let's see. I don't know that anybody's here yet. So usually we do a live chat on. Usually we do live chat Monday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. When we have the first Monday of the month, we do it on Thursday instead. So that is what's going on. I don't see anybody on here. So let's just see who shows up. Hopefully, people are coming on and hopefully, things are good. Um, I hope everybody's doing good. I hope there's no storms. I don't know if there's storms or not, but hoping there are not. And I hope you guys saw the bunny videos from today. So that is good. And let's see. I don't see any comments, so I'm going to look on this other thing. All right. Well, I don't see anybody on here, so I'm just going to go over a few things until people are on. I'm wondering if you guys can see me and I just can't see you. Anyway, yeah, so this week Ravioli Bunny, she gave birth. She gave birth to 9 babies. One of them was dead when I saw it, and then 2 more, which were very small and I predicted might not make it, did not make it. And so she has 6 babies that are healthy and doing well. So that is good. Rigatoni should have her babies here the next couple days. Let's look and see what the timing is for her. All right. I have a little bit of glare on my screen, so hopefully that's not bad. So her next nest box date. Well, that's wrong. Okay. Well, anyway, in any case, she is going to give birth here in the next couple days. And so then we'll have, those will be the last babies of the season. And I do have a workshop on the 23rd of May. And if you guys would like to take that workshop, go ahead and get a hold of me. You can email me sowandtare at gmail.com, or you can message me on the Sow and Tare Facebook. Yeah, so let me know. I'm just going to text someone and see if you guys can see me. I don't see any comments. So anyway, hopefully people are doing good. That is the general news of today, right now. I did have conversations today with someone about the food forest stuff, so that's coming up, and got a better understanding. It's super important if you guys are making changes on your land to make sure you're talking to all the right people and all the people that you need to talk with, which can be with the county planner, it can be with the county assessor, it can be with all sorts of different people, the forestry department, in my case, the state forestry. There's a lot of really there's some things that are just you have to do. They're not hard, but you have to do them, and some timing things as well. So I had a really good conversation. Oh, okay, Verna's here. Hi, Verna. Awesome. You can hear me and see me. All right. So I hope everybody's doing good, and that definitely was a conversation that I had today. which is really, really informative and really helpful. If you guys are nice to the people that you're talking to, they're likely to be nice to you. And so far, I've had really good interactions with everyone. So that is good. Thank you, Verna. Thank you. So Verna is Vase Place Blue with a Little Wrench, and she's awesome, moderator. And she also has a channel, does lives Monday evenings and Saturday mornings. Oh yeah, no, time got away from you. Sorry, so late. It's okay. I actually I texted Verna. She was probably doing something. I was running a few minutes late because I actually went to drop off something at my bee mentors and ended up talking and then realized, ooh, I gotta go and get in the car and go to my house because I have a thing. So yeah, this is not our normal. Normally we do on Monday evenings. So that's completely fine. So it's weird. Sometimes Thursdays have a lot of people come in that are not our usual live crowd. And sometimes there's very little people. And it's just because it's different. Everybody's used to Monday. So yeah. So if you're a used to Monday person, then that's good. Oh, Verna's just doing her lives on Saturday morning now. Okay. Okay. That's good. The sweet potato did not make it. I have to say, I'm sad to say. Verna sent me purple sweet potato, Japanese sweet potato. I was excited about, but it was in the mail too long. So I'm sorry about that. But I do have something to mail you, Verna. So I don't know if your address was on the tube. If I still have the tube, if your address is that. Otherwise, you can text it to me. Anyway, so I'll be sending Verna something. And if people watching this, we do have I have 2 spots available for I should actually check before I say that, but as of this morning, I had 2 spots available for the next rabbit workshop, which you learn how to process them, you learn how to, learn how to, basically do everything. You raise them, breed them, all that stuff. You learn all of that. So that's really good. And let's see if I have any messages about either one of these things. Not there. Okay, let's look in the other place. But I've really been enjoying doing these workshops because they're really good. They're small groups. It's really informative. People have the chance to ask questions and be involved and all of that. So that's pretty cool. Let's just see if there's anything on here. I don't see anything yet. Okay. I posted on the Sow and Tare Facebook, and I also posted on like my personal one for the region, or for our local town. Yeah. Yeah, U.S. Post Office does suck. It does. Thank you, Verna. I got that. The thing about Oregon right now, well, in general, post office is being interesting, but as far as in Oregon right now, all of Oregon's mail goes through Portland, which is stupid. It just is. We'll use the S word. I don't understand why they're taking it through there, but they are. So yeah. Yes, I got you right now. Yep. Oh, you're saying there's just one person? Hey, that's okay. What do you want to talk about, Verna? I have not planted my seeds. I keep saying I'm going to, and at this point, tomorrow and Saturday there is a plant sale in town that the kids, planted this thing. It goes back to the kids. So I will be buying plants to plant as far as summer crops. My carrots are this tall. My chard is this tall. And I only have a few radishes that came up and they're about that tall. So very weird start to the growing year. I'm glad the carrots came up. Not all the carrots came up. Parsnips didn't come up yet. That was not old seed. And none of the brassicas came up. So yeah. Yep. Okay, so Verna's saying her meal, all of it, all of the state, or just yours, goes through Cincinnati. She's in Ohio. And your sunchokes are breaking ground right now. I'm going to have to move because I have a lot of glare right now because their sun is being sunny. So give me a quick moment while I do that, if that's okay. And then we can talk. We can see what's going on. All right, we'll see if we can move this whole assemblage all at once. Oh, with unplugging the computer, though, that would be handy. All right. I just sat down from where I was working earlier today. Thought that would work. All right, let me go grab the plug. Okay, much better. I can see the comments. No brick background, but you have unimaginable as the color there. All right, Verna says shipped from Miamisburg post office to an address in Miamisburg. It went to Cincinnati. They got theirs after I got mine. Mailed on the same day. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I would say yours is your post office is worst. All right. We should be settled. Love the purple wall, she says. Yes, the color is called Unimaginable. No, I have not done the trim yet. It is very low on the project list. So, yeah, there's lots of things that I should do and lots of things that need to be done. But there you go. I am learning my scythe. I don't know if I said this before or not, but I had glued on the handles with Gorilla Glue wood glue, which is very strong. And I glued on the back handle at the wrong angle. So I contacted Gorilla Glue to see, is there a solvent I can use? You know, because it's basically like a peg and then the handle goes over it. And the answer was no, it's manual. So what I need to do, and I keep forgetting to do this, hopefully I'll do it tomorrow, is call the company and say, can I buy another rear handle? And at that point, once I receive it, I will cut it off as much as I can and then sand it down and then reapply in the right angle. So I'll probably apply with like Elmer's glue first. I need to buy some Elmer's glue. I only have the hard stuff. Come on. So if it is wrong, I can just like kink and break it off. But yeah. Shawnee's here. Welcome, Shawnee. Welcome, welcome. Listening while you work. Oh yes. I don't know what oh yes means, but I'm guessing it's in like the list making thing, not even on the list versus on the list and all that. Yeah. Anyway, so things are going good here. I'll repeat since Vernie came in late and Shawnee showed up. Yes, lists, exactly. Rigatoni had babies yesterday, and she had them. She had 9. Rigatoni is Ravioli is a rabbit. She had 9 babies, and she had one that was not living, and one, you know, there was 2 that were very, very, I would say underdeveloped. And so I expected that they probably wouldn't last long, and they didn't. By that evening, they had passed. So she has 6 healthy babies. One of them's a little small, but not like dangerously small. So we have 6 babies there. And then Rigatoni should be giving birth here in the next few days. And so she will be the last birth here until this rabbit season. So rabbit season goes basically from the fall through now as far as breeding. Through a month before now. In the summertime, the males actually, hey PJ, welcome. In the summertime, the males go temporarily sterile when it hits a certain temperature. There is, like, I've heard 85, I've heard hotter, I've heard this, I've heard that. There are rabbits that are bred for hotter areas. There are individual discrepancies, right? And uh, there are rabbits bred for hotter areas. Like, there's a method for that, and then there's also breeds like the Timuc and the Florida White that are, the whole breed is bred for warm, but uh, they all are going to have a point at which the male becomes temporarily sterile. So that's the thing there. Yeah, so that'll be the last birth of the season, and so we will have everybody will have babies after Rigatoni gives birth. So yeah, nice T-shirt. Yep, I never understood the first part, but QuailCon. Yep, and for those that don't know, I spoke twice at QuailCon about raising quail in aviaries and raising quail and rabbits. I don't remember what the title was, but basically alongside each other. I used to have what I termed the raviary, because it's always a party, where you raise quail under rabbits. And it works great as long as you do the work of the chicken. So, yeah. Yeah. So, PJ, what do you have going on out there? And Shawnee, what do you have growing? Verna's already growing sweet potatoes and stuff. You're busting. I will be buying starts from, there's a plant sale tomorrow and Saturday, like a Mother's Day plant sale. And so I will be buying that plants from there because I haven't started my summer plants. I'll plant beans, like green beans, and I'll plant some other things from seed. But as far as like tomatoes and squashes and stuff like that, I'm just gonna go with whatever I can find. And it goes to support the kids, and then I might get more starts. I was going to do starts, and then it hasn't happened. So these first couple of years at this property, there's a lot to do, and some things slip by, and I do not want to have the garden slip by again. Last year it slipped by pretty strongly. Yeah. PJ says, I'm planting a garden, got my seeds in. Awesome. Except the peas. My peas, I have two that came up, because the night after I planted mine, something went through and ate all of them. I saw the divots, It missed two of them though. But they're very short. Okay. You forgot them, but they're on the way. That's okay. Verna says, sweet potatoes, sunchokes, beets so far. More sweet potatoes will be planted next week. How are your beets coming? Because that would be good. Shawnee says, no frost in the forecast now. Hardening off celery at the moment. Peas are up. Planted onions, potatoes, and fava beans. Lettuce and radish are growing. Awesome. So we had like a freak freeze, was it a week ago? Something like that. It was just like warm. Oh, we're gonna get really low. Yeah. So people here pretty much don't plant until June. So I'll probably keep the starts, going somewhere else until then, or put them in the carport or something, so it's covered but outside. Yeah, I think that'll work. PJ says, had to clear rocks and clean up the destroyed greenhouse. Wait, how did your greenhouse get destroyed? I missed the story. Please share. Verna says, sad. Beets are sad. Need to plant more. Man, it's a year, isn't it? Shawnee says, I've ordered mushroom kits. I have some perennials here. Need pick up the rest. Yeah. So I need to contact Cascadia Mushrooms again. They're the ones that provide a lot of different companies with mushroom kits and mushroom plugs and stuff. They're out of Washington. I need to talk to them again. There's very few things that could potentially grow on the trunks of the trees that I'm removing. I do have some hardwood trees that I'll get some different varieties on those. But a lady I talked to says if I wanted to try it might be too acidic for it, but I might have some. The only one I might have some success with is oyster mushrooms. The acidity kind of knocks out the others. So I'm going to try that. I need to get in hold of her again, and I'm going to massively, drill plug beeswax, over it and do that. And that way I'll have some mushrooms there for the next 3 to 5 years. And I will have expectations, but low expectations that of success of those, because I know this is a reach. So yeah. It happened several years ago. Okay. I thought I was missing something, PJ. I thought like a pig got in or something. Yeah. Shawnee says I ordered a broad fork and a battery-powered sprayer for foliar feed. I've not used a broad fork, but I wonder, like, I understand it's to aerate the soil. I've generally had raised beds, outside of like trees and stuff. I've had raised beds, and I have a rule of not walking on my raised bed, and I never had an issue with compaction. Like some people like go stand in their bed and reach there and reach there. And if you stay out of your beds, do you need a broad fork? That's the question I have, because for those who don't know, a broad fork is like has handles like this far apart and a board that you step on, and it has like, when you are not supposed to go a certain direction in a parking lot, and it has like the spikes for the tires that will pop the tires. It has like that on the bottom side. And so you put it in, you move it, and then you pull it out. So it's short of rototilling. So it's supposed to keep like everything together. Like the highways are only slightly broken, not completely broken, as far as like all the nutrients and mitochondria and critters and all that stuff. So yeah, that's my question, is what value does it have to a system that doesn't get compacted by people weight? I mean, you're going to have some compaction happen with rain and all that, but if you're planting, the roots create some uplift. So that's my question. Shawnee says North Spore is where I ordered. It was buy two get one free sawdust kits. Yeah, Cascadia. I mean, Pacific Northwest is really where they go, but Cascadia is. I think they have a buy one get one right now. For the size that I'm looking at, she says that they would have a wholesale price, which is good. So yeah. PJ says someone never took the cover off the greenhouse. The first snow collapsed it while I had pigs in it, but it actually worked out kind of for keeping the pigs covered in the winter. Oh boy. Oh boy. Verna says North Spore has a list of types of trees that are optimal for mushrooms. Good. Yeah, I think most mushroom places have that. And it's usually things like hardwoods and, maple and oak and that kind of thing. What I am needing is Douglas fir, which is a conifer and is more acidic than the others. So anyway, yeah, I think all the mushroom places do that. So, all right. PJ says, I love my broad fork. Actually forgot I had it until you mentioned it. Okay, so Shawnee says, I don't know, I have in-ground, not raised beds. Okay. And Steve says, ta-da! I was late and you weren't here. Welcome, Steve. Steve is S.O. Swanson. He's in blue with a little wrench, and I'm moderator of the channel. Welcome. Yeah, I would like to know more about broad forks and like why. Like, I understand compaction is what they're compaction and aeration is what I assume they're for. Just bring you guys a little closer. But I don't know the whole story of why you would use them, because it seems like if you have a good population of earthworms and if you stay off of your growing space, like you don't walk on your growing space, that you might not use them. But I have never used them, so educate me. Like, let me know. And if you're watching this after, put in the comments why you like it better. Oh, Verna, your timer didn't go off. It's okay. It's okay. I was at someone's house and I was like, "Ooh, I gotta go." Okay, PJ says I use mine like a tiller, but you don't till every year, do you? Or do you? I like to have in my experience with raised beds, and a raised bed doesn't have to have sides. Like a raised bed can be a mound, in my mind. Um, no, okay. Um, but you have more control of the soil when you have it in a raised bed situation. So, oh, they're great on potato patches. So on something that you're already gonna be digging in. Okay. Uh, yeah. So I don't remember what I was saying because I was thinking about potato patches. Um, oh, the soil. So in my experience with raised beds, it takes 3 to 5 years for your soil to really mature. And then if you take care of it after that, it can, that's when it's good. It becomes a steady bed. But it does take, 3 to 5 years. And I have to relearn that now because I had my beds for so long before, at my old place, that this place doesn't have them. They did in ground, which is fine. And this is basically in ground with basically that much stuff on top of it. So mostly raised. But the plan is not this year, but in the future to do raised beds, because raised beds are always going to be, in my mind, better because um, for vegetable stuff, because you have more control over it. You don't have to stoop over, lean over. You can harvest right from there. Now, a raised bed doesn't have to be raised that far. Um, in my old garden, my raised beds were about that deep, but my pathways had wood chips also about that deep. So the raised beds were only like that far above the pathway, but it was still a raised bed. So it was pretty interesting. Um, yeah. Steve says it aerates, loosens, and breaks up compacted soil without damaging the soil area, and the earthworms are not destroyed using one. That makes sense. Okay. So it's for compaction. I was thinking compaction and aeration, but yeah, I don't see a need for it where I am right now. So, but if you guys like yours, that's fine. And if you have in ground, it might be different than what I've dealt with. Yeah. So, yeah. Um, the temperature has been getting up there. I have one more mite treatment in my 21-day treatment cycle. Um, that'll happen on Sunday, and then I'm going to take off the bottom board, has like an insulation thing. Yesterday I got into the bees, and yesterday there was lots of ladies out in the front fanning, and they were making cooling it off, and that is fine. That's how they cool it off, is by fan, they stand and they move their wings. And man, getting into that beehive, they are booming. They are booming. Population has increased so much. I asked my mentor, who couldn't be there when I was getting into it, I asked them today, like, right now I have a queen excluder going up to the super, and I'm like, should I open it up? And they said, yeah, because she's laying I still haven't seen her, but she has so many eggs in there and so many larva, and they're doing so well, and they're just busting their butts. They're bringing in so much pollen, so much. And again, they have the brood, which is the babies, and then pollen, and then honey on the same frame. That's the pattern that you see, and it's really really cool because it's very obvious. I did record that. I don't know what I got. I do know the camera overheated twice. I think it was like 80. No, it wasn't 80. There was 84 earlier in the week, but yesterday it was 73, but it felt so much hotter, especially in a bee suit. Yeah. But the ladies were good. Didn't see the queen, but there are 2 queen cups starting. So I have to think about looking at I have to get in there, with not soon, but fairly soon, to see what those cups are doing, and then probably make a split, because man, that population just boomed. It's awesome. All right, so PJ says, my oops, pumpkin seeds will be planted in mounds of compost in the field when I can get the barn cleaned out. Oh, yes. I do remember our talk. PJ has oops pumpkin seeds. She was looking at something and actually accidentally bought them. So hopefully they'll be yummy. Hopefully they'll be yummy and you'll get good food out of them. So yeah, I do remember that. Our Cook With Me Live is the 17th, which is in 2 Sundays. We will be making English muffins, and we're going to make some breakfast sandwiches out of them too. So, oh, I was just going to say something to Verna. When she comes back, remind me English muffins. Anyway, so if you guys are not signed up and you would like to sign up and be a member, it's super affordable. We meet once a month and we cook something, and we cook it live, me in my kitchen and you in yours. So just like I'm talking to you guys right now, there is a way that I can get you guys on video or audio. You don't have to show your face. You don't even have to do that. You can just be in the comments. But we cook it together and do good things. So this last time we made donuts. I will be making more donuts Friday for the bake sale in town, for the Mother's Day bake sale. We do a fundraiser for the local group that gets things done. We do we do the fireworks stuff for 4th of July. We do Father's Day car show. We do Mother's Day bake sale. We do on Saturday. We do Easter stuff, Christmas stuff, a chili cook-off. We do a whole bunch of stuff. So it's a fundraiser. So if you're in Southern Douglas County, come and check it out. But I will be making the donuts that we made, the second donuts that we made from our last Cook With Me Live, the ones that turned out better. I'm gonna just make donut holes, just plain old. I'm gonna make like a snake and then just chop it. And I don't care if my donut holes aren't circular, but that's what I'm gonna do. Buster's here. I'm also making banana bread muffins. Hey to all, we'll be listening, very busy, taking care of everything. I understand that. I was late. I was 3 minutes late. Yeah, lots of stuff going on right now. Lots of stuff. I wish I had more time in the day. In fact, yeah. I have not heard from Erica, PJ. I was wondering if the storms, I think Verna might be the last person I heard from her. Ask it. I'll ask when she comes on again. I'll ask her. I have not heard from Erica. Yeah. Peach. Steve says, but those donuts will not be jelly filled. If you want to fill them, you can. Come on over. Buy the plane ticket. Come on over. And you can buy donuts and fill them yourself. All right, Verna, we have questions for you. Have you heard from Erica? Because I think you were the last one that heard from her. And is she okay with the storms that went through? Because I know Arkansas got some storms. Yes, thank you, PJ. And the second question for Verna. So Verna's birthday month is this month. Happy birthday month to Verna. And she wanted to make English muffins for our Cook With Me Live. And do you have a particular recipe you want? If so, send that to me. If not, I will get one. Okay, Erica's fine. Lucas got his certificate from the AKC. She is great. Storm's passed her. Awesome. Thank you. Monday is Verna's birthday. Well, should we sing to you now or later? Or I don't know if you're going to be here Monday, if you're going to be out with your daughter. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Verna. Happy birthday to you. Yes, I know. Next live, but if she's out with her daughter, then she won't be with us. We can sing again. If she's on here again, then we can sing again. Verna says, I don't have a recipe, but know where I usually get my recipes. Okay. If you send that to me, then I'll put it out to people. If not, I will find one. I thought I had a recipe for them in a particular book, but I had a recipe for crumpets instead, which I haven't made. So, yeah. Buster's wishing Verna a early birthday. Happy early birthday. Yep. Okay, cool. She says, thank you. So, now we have that done. Rabbit workshop, May 23rd. I have 2 spots left open. This is an in-person workshop. We're learning everything about rabbits and how to grow them and also processing. So we'll have a few more workshops after that into the summer. And then after that, there probably won't be workshops again until late fall. Well, no, winter. I am entertaining the idea of doing a workshop that does not involve processing. And so that'll be, if people want to do it, I'll do it. If not, then that's fine. And I'll be listening to my local community as well. I need to get on more local, but not like local. I need like local Facebook groups and stuff. Yeah. Verna says, I used to have a lot of recipes, but left them up north when I moved. I get it. Things get left behind. Yeah. So I've always wanted to try English muffins, making them. And I haven't done it yet. So this will be a first for me, which is good. Good. Yeah. So here we're starting to see more flowers bloom. The Douglas iris is blooming. People can use the leaves of that for cordage. I have not done that. I do know a couple people that have done that. Made rope out of it. The leaves can get like that big, and they're very strong. But they're blooming right now. They're blooming down here. I wonder if they're blooming up on the hill yet. They might be, or they might not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the timing it takes to get to the same state up there. I'm pretty sure it might be a different timing. Yeah. But those are blooming. There's mustard and fillery that's blooming in the pasture. That's new. The lilacs are blooming now, so that's really good. It's really good. Okay, PJ has daffodils. Yeah, we're well past daffodil season here. Well past. That was a while ago. The bearded irises are blooming. They've been blooming though. Yeah. Yeah, goats seem to leave them alone. I don't think daffodils are supposed to be edible. Steve has daffodils and weeds. I have weeds too. Yeah, I'm learning my scythe. Like I said, I need to replace the back handle because I just need to cut it off and put it in the right place. Put a new one in the right place. But there's an interesting, I'm getting better at it. I just am a little bit terrified of hitting rocks because I know I have rocks. So there's that, All right. Yeah, it's still cold at PJ's. Yeah, I get it. That's why I kind of laughed and said we're well past daffodil season here. Because, yeah, winter is, you're not still winter, are you? Are you at least in spring? PJ said, I did mow last week. Oh, yeah. Before the donuts. Yes. Yes, yes. Exactly, Steve. Daffodils, are not, are not edible and are toxic to humans and pets. Exactly. Yeah, Buster's saying to Steve, hope all the storms went around you. I agree. I also hope this thing is not full of storms. 42 at PJ's. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, you can start planting your tomato seeds now inside. Okay, Steve has update on storms. They all went north and south of him. Think the storms were afraid of encountering me. Uh-oh. Do we have previous storm encounters? Oh my gosh. Yes, day lilies are edible. Other lilies are not. Yep. Sabrina's saying day lilies are edible, which is often a park strip plant or a office building landscape plant or the what's it called? The median strip plant. Yeah. You're not starting inside. Okay, starting outside. Um yeah, go for it. Berta says 44 is what it was when I got up this morning. Going to be warmer tomorrow. Haven't had windows open since Monday due to coolness. Yeah, there's it was 48. 48? I think it was 48 this morning. Or last night. I I think it was 48. But it warms up. A PJ Direct Sows only. Hey, it works. You get food when you get food. You don't get food earlier, that's fine. A lot of plants do better direct sowing. I mean, even down to your zucchinis and stuff, they do better often direct sowing. Um, I'll still probably buy starts though, because that's where I am right now. I just need to do it. 45 at Buster's this morning. That's a little crazy for where you are, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Um anyway, so if anybody has bees, apparently there's been a lot of bees swarming here. Mine are doing good, but I've been told by my mentor to keep an eye on them. I'm hoping that they get this queen cup. There's 2 queen cups that are just starting to be built. There's no egg in it yet. And so that'll be exciting if I can do a split and prevent them from swarming. And that would be good. Yeah. Berta says might get ornery and plant a couple pie pumpkins in a pot. Go for it. Go for it. Pie pumpkins are not the pumpkins that are in the pumpkin pie filling that you get like in a can. That's another variety of. It looks like a butternut squash, like that color, and I don't remember what exactly the shape is, but it looks more like butternut squash. Yeah. Oh yeah, PJ says Doling, born 2 weeks ago, is doing great. Had another on Monday, and she is bigger than the 2-week-old. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad your little goatees are doing good. Yeah. What is a queen cup? Good question, Steve. When you have bees and you're familiar with like a beehive where they have frames and you lift up the frame, and on that frame can be many different things, but it is going to be comb, and in that comb they can put eggs, which turn into larvae, which turn into capped brood. So that's the babies. That's going to be in the center, and then on the outer side of that you have uh, pollen that gets put in like a little rainbow, and then on the outer part of that you have honey, and then you have other frames that's just pollen, bee bread, and then you have other frames that's just honey, and all of that. But a queen cup is uh, a specific cell that is made to make a queen. So there's 3 different places they can place it on a frame. One is towards the bottom of the frame, like it might be hanging off the bottom, or it might be right at the bottom. Another is in the middle of the frame, and another is up at the top of the frame. And in general, so those are going to be larger in diameter, and they kind of look like that. Like they look different than a drone cell. I hope I got some video of it, and if I did, I will show that. But a queen cup is a cell that is for a queen. So all baby bees get fed some royal jelly. But a queen cup cell, the baby in there only ever gets fed royal jelly. They don't get fed the bee bread like the other baby bees. So other baby bees, they get some royal jelly, but most of their diet is bee bread, which is a protein, high protein, made from a combination of nectar and pollen and saliva, bee spit. So the queen only gets fed the royal jelly, and she grows up as a queen. She has a huge abdomen and all of that. But the queen cup, when it's sealed, when the cell is sealed, it can be like that big, whereas most of them are like this. So it's much larger. Yeah. So hopefully that went over it. Queen cups. Okay, so I didn't explain the thing. If you have a queen cup, it means they are wanting to have a queen. It can be maybe the queen died or is injured and they're going to replace her, and they can actually take an egg from somewhere else and put it in the queen cup. I learned that at bee school. That's this last weekend, so that was pretty interesting. But in general, she'll just lay, as she's laid everywhere, and then that one's special because it gets fed a certain thing. But if the queen cups are on the bottom, that's called a swarm cell. The bottom of a frame, that's called a swarm cell. So that means population is growing. They are running out of room, or they're running out of stores, or they're just ready to split. So that's a warning that they're going to split. And that's what I have is 2 queen cells are starting, but they're just at a cup stage. And so that means they're going to swarm, or they'd like to swarm, or you can split them to prevent them from swarming. So what that means is they're making a new queen. The existing queen is going to take some of her peeps and leave with the new queen to run the hive. Not run the hive, she just has babies. But they that's a natural split, basically, is when they swarm. And then you can actually physically get in there and split them into 2 hives, and then you have 2 hives. So that's what mine are doing. If it is in the center of the frame, that's called a supersedure cell. And that's when they're like, we need to replace this queen. She's aging out, or she got hurt, or something like that. Like this, we need to replace her. And you typically see that in the center. And then at the top is emergency cells. And I don't really know, or emergency queen cells. And I don't really know what the emergency would be, but the ones that I've seen are mostly either supersedure or swarm. So yeah. Anyway, I still haven't seen my queen, but she sure is laying a heck of a lot. Yeah. Berta had some excitement there this afternoon. Let's hear it. PJ, get 80 degrees one day, 32 the next. I'm over it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We've had we got up to 84 one day already. It was warm. Buster's saying, congratulations, PJ. Enjoy them. Okay. You had SWAT. Verna had SWAT team out there this afternoon. Yeah, it would be scary. They were across the street, 2 doors down. Hopefully they got whoever they came to get. That's what I can say. My goodness. Yeah, it would be super scary. Yeah. Steve says, doesn't the current queen try to destroy any nurturing queen larvae? No. So the queen has one thing to do. She lays eggs. She has tons of attendants to do to do everything for her. They feed her. She doesn't even feed herself. They feed her, they clean her, um they'll help her move around, they'll support her if she needs to squat into a cell to lay an egg, is too much or whatever. They are there for her every need, which means she never learns how to do things on her own, right? But yeah, they even feed her. They don't feed themselves. um and the only time they're going to fight is when the queen is out. Now, if it's a swarm cell, basically she's laying an egg and basically saying, "Okay, I'm done with this area. I'm going to move out, but before I move out, I need to leave my subjects with a queen." And then she goes away. She can go away while it's still in the egg, or while it's still in the cell. um they can make a queen without a queen present if the egg is young enough. So I think if it's 3 or 4 days old, because after that it turns into a larva, it hatches into larva. So if it's before it becomes a larva, then it can become a queen. Any of them can become a queen. Now, you can have queens that are high quality and queens that are low quality, and there must be some way where they choose the egg or they whatever. But if they're fed royal jelly from the first day they're a larva and all the way through without any bee bread, then they can become a queen. um yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Uh, and if there's more than one queen that hatches out, then they'll fight to the death or until they, decide one leaves. I did recently hear of 2 queens in a hive that got along just fine, but that's not the norm. Yeah. Brenda says, yeah, he did like they said, came out with his hands up behind his head. Oh my gosh. Well, at least that person is no longer in your neighborhood. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm learning a lot about bees. It's been really interesting and pretty crazy just to get into the hives and be like, oh, everything changed. And I just think it's really interesting. That's what I can say. It's really interesting, and it's uh everybody has a little bit different opinion about things too. So I'm learning things from different people with different opinions, and it's pretty interesting. Uh, Steve says, so if royal jelly is so good, you should fill your donuts with jelly. Ha ha ha. I've heard it actually tastes quite bad. I've not tasted it myself. Yeah. You love my throw blanket? I think it's like a Walmart purchase years ago. It's one of those small fleecy things. But thank you. Little owl. I think I have a wolf one too. I don't really need a blanket over the couch anymore, but yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, so I do need to trim the vegetation in my apiary. Apiary with a P is the bee yard. And because I'm going to at some point soon, I think, split that one, and then my mentor has a swarm for me, which is very generous. So I need to get a bunch of bee equipment is what I need. Just looking at, I was over at my mentors today after work, and they were like, "Yeah, we're pretty much out of equipment. We got bees and everything." So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I do need to get more equipment. Everybody has a different answer when you ask how much equipment do you need, how much bee boxes you need and all that. Yeah. So everybody has a different answer. Vern says, doesn't matter where you got it. Those owls are exactly what you need around you right now. Are you saying I have rodents? I heard an owl the other night. I think it was a great horned owl. I heard great horned and barred here. Those are the ones I've heard, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's like asking someone how many quail you need. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because like I got different answers from people for like, oh, yeah, one extra this, one extra that, whatever. And it's like, oh, but if you're catching tons of swarms, then you're like, oh, like everywhere, Yeah. Oh, owls symbolize wisdom. Good. And not that you have a rodent problem. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I'll be wise. I'll be wise. Yeah. So I just noticed today the catalpa tree is the leaves are coming on. It's it sure is late to leaf out, and I don't know anything that's useful for other than shade and the leaves. Tommy told us one evening the leaves are used in aquariums to adjust the pH. So that's all I know. It'd be nice to find another use for it because they do have like these long pods and these interesting looking seeds and huge leaves, but they are not edible. The flowers are pretty too. The flowers are like a cascade of white, which is very pretty. Yeah. Steve says, if owls are so smart, how come they can never remember who you are? They just say, whoo, whoo, whoo. Yep. Yep. Because you don't know who you are, they're trying to get you to remember. Oh boy, that was harsh, Verna. We're having a cousin battle there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and they've always been over on the other side of the valley, so I've never heard them this direction, I don't think. Have I? I don't think so. I think it's mostly the other direction. Yeah. Nice try. Yeah. So let's see. You don't have much growing, huh? What about at the new place? You have anything planted at the new place or any plans? Because that'd be fun to get that set up. Yeah. Um, what else can we talk about? I kind of went through a bunch of things that happened. Went through pretty quickly. But there'll be food forest stuff coming up. Um, I am going to get the trees taken down that are coming down, the big ones, somewhat soon, and then I'll be working in sections from there. I did get confirmation that I don't have to plan out the whole thing at once, which thank goodness, because that was my concern. But it's basically it's about an acre that I'm dealing with there. So it's not huge, but it's, not small. And I'm going to keep a lot of the native growth and all of that. So yeah, it'll be a fun thing, but I'm thankful that I don't have to plan it out all at once. I can phase it, which is really nice. Yeah. Like you, it's a work in progress. There you go. There you go. There will be growth at the new place, Steve. There will be growth at the new place. Still cleaning. Okay. That's right. It was a fixer upper, huh? Oh, there'll be no growth? Okay. Just getting to know your place may take a couple years. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um yeah, and that's I mean, I really thought I was gonna be doing what I'm doing this year, what I'm trying to do this year, and I thought I would be done already. But I thought it was gonna happen last year and didn't. So realistic expectations and making sure your expectations are flexible is gonna be important because you may have a list this big and maybe only one of the things gets done a year. But in my case, once the infrastructure is in, once things get going, once the trees start growing, once all this stuff starts going, then once it's out of maintenance, then it'll be really, really nice. That's why I'm waiting. Yeah, work in progress for sure. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So that's the story here. I did get. Did you guys? I don't think I told you what they are. Did I tell you guys what the bushes are that I had in the that I posted about? I don't think I did. PJ made a guess. I don't remember what your guess was. Olives or something? Someone guessed olives. Um, Verna says may take up to 5 years before you actually see it materializing the way you want. Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't take that long, but it takes time. Yeah, so the bushes that I got that were in that picture, blueberry was your guess. That's right. Blueberry was your guess. Somebody else guessed olives. I don't remember what somebody else guessed. There's one other guess that wasn't on the post. But no, they are pineapple guavas. So the same tree that I had at my old place as a street tree, but in bush form. So I don't know. It's from Monrovia, which is a well-known nursery in my region. But I don't know what the variety is, so that's why I didn't get more. But Pia says, "Ooh, um, I have wanted to replace the hedge. I like having a hedge between the house and the street because it has more privacy and sound control and all that. But it's not a plant that does anything for me. It's not edible, whatever, right? With the pineapple guavas, that will be something that will be really, really good because they are evergreen. They have edible flowers or edible petals. They have really, really good fruit, and hopefully the deer don't browse it. I didn't think about that. But as a shrub, they're going to be doing really well. So what I'm doing is I'm starting with 2, and I will take out a couple of the hedge shrubs and plant them and see how they do, see how they taste. If I like that flavor, then I can get more. If I want to get some different varieties, I can go searching. So that is my plan. Yeah. Um, Now, pineapple guavas do take longer to grow, so it's going to take some time to grow out that hedge, but that's my plan. We're just saying guavas. Yeah, they're not guavas. They're pineapple guavas, which are the other name is fijoa, and they're not guavas, and they're not pineapples. So, and I don't even think they're related to guavas. I don't think. Um, but yeah, they are very tasty, and I do still have some freeze dried skin of. Let me put this right here. There we go. Um, I have some freeze dried pineapple guava fruit skin that I was going to do a test for making jelly because I think it has a very high pectin content. So that's something I'm wanting to try. Yeah. Buster says, I have hummingbird feeders covered in bees. I just put out more feeders. So do you have beehives, or does your neighbor have beehives? because they may just want a water. You could do a 1-to-1 sugar to water. I think that's what we learned in the B class. 1-to-1 right now. I think that's what they said. Yeah. Anyway, because hummingbirds, I think, is 4-to-1, 4 cups sugar to 1 cup water. Is that right? Is it 4-to-1 or 3-to-1? I think it's 4-to-1. Don't do that many cups if you don't need that many cups. But yeah. I know for bees, you're not supposed to boil the sugar. You're supposed to use warm water, not boiling water. There's something chemical that happens or can happen. And you're not supposed to use organic sugar because I don't remember why. Why is that? I don't remember. Because it might have something in it. All right. PJ is saying, night, night, friends. Eyeballs are fading. Good night, PJ. Thank you for checking in. And we'll see you later. Buster says, no one has bees near me. You might set out a swarm trap and become a beekeeper. Yeah. 3 parts water, 1 part sugar? No. It's the other way around, isn't it? For hummingbirds? Anyway, I actually need to do that. It's out now. I need to do that. I'll remember what I did before. All right. Perhaps nature is telling you to build some hives. Exactly. I'm sure somebody has them. So bees forage between 3 and 5 miles, and so if there's anybody who has bees within that distance, then they're likely from there. There's also wild hives or escaped hives or swarmed, so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So, yeah. So I'll be keeping an eye on my hive and seeing if they need to be split, and I will apparently be buying lots of equipment. I don't know how much to buy. I have some, but I don't have a whole lot. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Someone has bees within 3 or 4 miles of you. Steve says, Mike, see, in his case, they're up the street half mile. Yep. And it's amazing how far they can fly and be busy. And something to realize, like when I get into the hives, I'm only seeing what's out there in the daytime. I'm not seeing all the foragers that are out there in the world, right? There's tons of them. So I'm not seeing that because I open them when it's daylight and warm and all of that, and they are foraging. So it's pretty interesting. Verna says, make safe boiling nectar by mixing 1 part white cane sugar with 4 parts boiling water. Stir until dissolved. Cool completely and fill feeders. Store extra in fridge for up to 2 weeks. Do not use red dye, honey, or raw sugar. Yeah. I don't know why I thought there was more sugar. I thought it was 4 sugar. That would have been super, super. That would be like rock candy. Never mind. So yeah, thank you, Stephen Verna, for saying correct things. And I think the 4 cups versus the 3 cups is a seasonal thing, because I think I use 4 cups. Yeah. Yeah, red dye is very bad for them. It's bad for you and I too. But yeah. That's what Buster uses too. Cool. Buster says, I think they have a hive by the pond. There you go. There you go. So, yeah. There's what I've been seeing lately is a bunch of yellow jackets trying to find a place. And specifically when I've been working out on the front porch, there's been a couple of them that just are annoying. They're not like doing anything except for like, I don't know if they're still trying to find a place on my front porch or what's happening, but they're hanging out. So I do have one trap up. I still have honey frames on my roof in the back, and I do have a wasp trap up there. And there's only one wasp in there, but they've eaten out a lot of that. Probably most of that they've eaten out already. So I have more frames in the freezer. I'll get those out at some point here and trade out the ones that are on the roof. I don't yet know what I'm going to do with the frames that are in there. They'd be drawn comb. What that means is the honeycomb is there, but there's nothing inside. Yeah. Yep. Steve says we have bumblebees in the boat shed. Yep. So do you have the ones that are in a colony? So there's ones that are in colonies, and there's ones that are like singular, and then there's ones that have colonies, and then for certain times of the year, and then the rest of the time of the year, like everybody dies but the queen. And the queen overwinters, and then she repopulates the earth. So yeah. Yep. I did see tons of bumblebees at one point, and it was really crazy because the bumblebees, like, they were all in the apple tree when the apples were blooming, and there's hundreds of bumblebees. So I don't know if there was just a hatch or what, but it was pretty interesting. Um, yeah. Okay, no colony, the ones that bore into the wood. Carpenter bees. Yeah, they have the carpenter bee, which is a bumblebee. Big black ones. I think they're fun. They just bumble around. Yeah, I know they're destructive, but I think they're fun. Um, yeah. So there's a lot of pollinators out right now. There's a lot of I've seen a lot of hoverflies, and the hoverflies that are around are really kind of cool because they just look like fluffy teddy bear bees. Now I'm not thinking of hoverflies. Hoverflies are flattened and they look like bees, but they're flattened. Look like someone stepped on them. They can still fly. What are the ones? There's another kind of fly that looks like just a teddy bear bee that's just like a fluff ball with a long proboscis. And I don't remember their name. They were on they're on the website for Is This a Bee? Yeah, the ones look like they're too fat to fly, but do. Yeah, you're talking about the carpenter bee. Yeah, carpenter bee is a good. Let me look up the name of the one that I was thinking of. They had a figure. Maybe used to be on the homepage. Oh, maybe it wasn't on here. I think it was on a pamphlet that I saw. Never mind. Never mind. Anyway, there's lots of stuff out there. We call them bumblebees, but yes, it's a carpenter bee. Carpenter bee is a type of bumblebee, as far as I understand. Yeah. Just like there's the yellow-faced bumblebee and the whatever yellow-rumped bumblebee, I think is one. And bumblebee taxonomy is really interesting and very complicated because there can be multiple morphologies, which is morphology is how they look. They can look different within a species, and so it can be hard to key out, or not hard necessarily, but it can be time consuming to key out. So yeah. No, so the carpenter bees, if a flower is too big to get in, is too small to get into, what they'll do is they'll climb up on top of it and they'll make a slit and then they'll steal the nectar. And is really funny to watch. My old neighbor had morning glories that went over the fence, and they loved them, but they couldn't fit inside the trumpet part of the morning glory. And so they would land on them, and they would go and land on them and go poof, because they're so heavy, and they just like hold on but fall down. And then they climb to the top, cut a slit, and steal the nectar. So if you see big black bumblebees on top of flowers like that and not in the flowers, that's what they're doing. You can go and you can actually see the slit, like a little slit that big that they just cut and then slurp. Yeah. Buster says our bumblebees are black and yellow and fat, live in the ground. Yep. Some of them live in the ground, some of them live in wood, some of them live in cavities in the ground or above ground, in trees, in buildings, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah. Yeah. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. So we've also there's been a couple different kind of wasps. And then last night, I went up to feed the bunnies last night, and there was what are they called? A crane fly. So mosquito eater is the other common name, but there's a crane fly that was digging to put her eggs, and I didn't save the whole thing. I did record part of it, but they have these enormous daddy long legs, and they're like this, and they put themselves upright, and then with their abdomen they stab the earth and like stab and nick, and they just keep on doing that, and they'll actually dig like at least a half inch down and before they deposit their eggs, and then they cover it back up, and they'll even like move leaves over it. It's pretty cool. I didn't stay for the whole time this time, but I have seen it take 45 minutes, hour and a half, something like that, for different ones, and it's pretty cool to watch. I mean, that's gotta have a lot of oomph in your back end if you're gonna dig a hole with it in really hard earth, right? Yeah. So it's just a little interesting. Yeah. So, Buster, what do you have growing? My carrots are this big. My radishes about that big, and not very many came up. My chard is this big. So they are growing very, very slowly. And like I said, my carrots took 4 weeks to come up, and hopefully they're doing something underground because they're not doing much above ground. Yeah. Yeah. How are your peas? I have 2 peas. They're about that tall, and the rest of them got eaten the night I planted them. Somebody went in and dug out each and every one of them except for 2 of them. And yeah. I tell you what, when I plant the green beans, I'm going to put some hardware cloth over it, over where I plant them, because I definitely want the green beans. Peas are good. Green beans are good. I've never grown enough peas to hold back any, like freeze them. I have not very many years for the green beans, but I have for the green beans, and I've frozen them. I have not tried to freeze dry green beans yet. I'll probably want to try that. I want to see how it tastes, because green beans, like canned green beans, they're okay, but they're not nearly as good as fresh, And freeze dried green beans, I've heard can taste like canned green beans. So I have to kind of look and see, try a few things and see what the result is. Yeah. Buster says peppers, tomatoes, squash, peas, beans already have reddish lettuces. Cool. Cool. Do you grow Spicy peppers or non-spicy peppers? Yeah, so Verna says blanch them before you freeze dry them, just a light blanching. Exactly. Yeah, anytime you use a freeze dryer, um, pretend like you're freezing basically. So like if you needed to blanch it to freeze it, then blanch it to freeze dry it. Um, that's the rule I go by. If you didn't need to, then you don't have to. But that's what I go by. But it's nice to have green beans. Green beans is something that, growing up we didn't get a whole lot because my mom didn't like them. The whole family liked them but her. And so when we did get them, it was a special treat. But yeah, I do like green beans. They're good. And I found my seeds. Yeah, I have they're from Territorial Seeds, and I think the name is Amaris or Emeritus, something like that. And it is a stringless green bean. So I aim to grow things that I don't have to work after I pick it. And with green beans or string beans, you have to string the bean. You have to like take that string out. Otherwise, you just have this yucky string in your mouth. And I found my favorite. I'll plant it every year. I might try some other things, but the one I like is the one I'm gonna keep growing. I started when I started gardening. I started doing green beans, and they just were not great. Bush beans, I also don't do bush beans. If you have a green stalk, that would be great for green stalk, is bush beans. But when you have the ones that climb, I mean, it's going to give you, in my mind, it's going to give you more. And maybe you do ones that climb, and then at the base of those, maybe you do bush beans at the base. But it's just interesting to look at it that way and say, well, how much work is this going to be later, and how much work is it costing me now? Yeah. All types of peppers, Buster says. Bowtie's here. Triple G, greetings, global gardeners from Old Destin on the Emerald Coast, where warm lower 70s nights have the cuttings rooting nicely and fresh seeds going in daily. Awesome. Welcome. I hope you had a good time at the planting festival. Yeah, he went out to Baker Creek's festival that they have, and I'm assuming he had a good time. We'll hear about it, I'm sure. So Verna says bush beans you don't have to string, and they are tasty. I would fight you on that because absolutely some of them you do. The ones I grew, you definitely did. So I think it's up to variety. There's lots of different varieties of bush beans, but all the ones I tried had strings. Bowtie says I met Andy Rabbit at Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival Sunday. Awesome. Yeah, she's on here. She's on here often, but when she has something going on, she doesn't come on. But yeah, she's on here often. Awesome. Good you guys got to meet in person. Yeah. Yeah, when she remembers exactly, Verna. She's normally here. You must have worn her out. Oh boy. Thanks, Steve. Robin's here. Welcome, Robin. Robin's Gardens. Hello, I'm late. That's fine. I was 3 minutes late, so that's okay. It's okay. Welcome. Bowtie says the first look show was awesome, and then Enix show went flawless, starting with P. Allen Smith. Got lots of great guests on both shows. Awesome. Did you get any cool varieties out there? We're talking about Bowtie's trip to Baker Creek. Hopefully you got some cool varieties. I know they have some new stuff coming out. Yeah. For anybody joining late who is somewhat local to me, Douglas County, Oregon, I do have 2 more spots for my rabbit workshop on the 23rd, 2026, May 23rd. And so if you guys are interested in raising rabbits, go ahead and message me or email me, sowandtare@gmail.com. And we'll see how many people are there. I like small groups, and small groups are good. But I have two spots left. Buster says Verna was the first person I ever talked to on YouTube. Aww, Verna's awesome. Verna's awesome. Yeah, I became friends with Verna over YouTube, I think, and then we met at QuailCon in person. So, QuailCon. Anyway, yeah, Verna's awesome. Bowtie says, I only got a couple of amaranth and Thai ginger. Ooh, yum. That was already in the garden. Ms. Bowtie got Legos? Legos? Like the building blocks? Okay. Lots and lots of Legos. Is Legoland up there? I'm having a disconnect between the two. Fill in the blanks for me, Bowtie. They discount seeds for festivals, Robin. I don't know about the one now. I know the one they used to have in, and Bowtie can answer that. But the one that they had in well, it wasn't Santa Rosa, then they moved it down to Ventura in California. They don't do that anymore. But the heirloom festival, I was an exhibitor for that twice as well. They were selling them for $2 a packet, and they brought, I think I want to say 3 pallets of seeds this last time, and they ran out of seeds. I don't know if they ran out this time. The year before, they definitely ran out of seeds. They had to actually like emergency ship some out, like overnight, some out, because the first day they ran out of seeds when they went down to the first time in Ventura. Yeah, but $2 a pack. So yeah. Okay, Bowtie says, yeah, Legos. We went to the Lego store in Springdale. She is an avid Legoer. I think we are going back to the Fall Harvest Festival end of September. Seeds were $2 a packet. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they end up selling a lot, and they gain customers, for life at that point, like it's pretty good. And if they have it at their own place, then they don't have to pay the rent. They don't have to, to rent the space and organize all that stuff. They can just do it at their place, which is good. Yeah. Verna's asking Bowtie, Dave, can you see making a planter or above ground garden out of Legos? Ooh, there's a task. There's a task indeed. Yeah, $2 a pack is awesome. Yeah. And you know what? You buy more when it's $2 a pack. You're like, oh, maybe I'll buy 2 of these. Maybe I'll buy more than that. Yeah. Bowtie says some of our coast to coast crew bought a lot of seeds. I was very occupied with the studio and 3 live shows from our full mobile studio. Lots and lots of fun was had. Good. Oh, that would be tough. I don't know that a planter out of Legos would be tough, Bowtie. I think it would be pretty easy. In fact, it's a square or a rectangle or a different shape if you choose. I think it's a good goal for Mrs. Bowtie. Yeah. And if you put an R into tough, it becomes trough, right? Kind of. Good for a winter challenge, exactly. A planter out of Legos would want to collapse pretty easily. Well, yeah, if you build it like crud. If you build it nicely with good support, then it'd be fine. And don't put like bulging roots in it. It doesn't have to stay together forever. And Verna has another suggestion. She says, not if you super glue it. I mean, they make houses out of Legos at the Lego whatever it is in California, Florida, wherever that is. I haven't been to it. Legoland? Where's Legoland? Yeah, you can make all sorts of stuff out of Legos. Why not? Why not? Well, I think I like that challenge. Yeah, Robin says they build huge Lego statues for Legoland here. And Bowtie has thoughts. Legos, even thickly, will fail. She's got her eye on some Vego beds already, not super glue, maybe landscaping glue. What is landscaping glue? I'm unfamiliar with landscaping glue. There's 11 of them? Okay, Steve's Googling. There are 11 Legoland parks worldwide as of 2026, with major resorts in the U.S. located in Florida, Winter Haven, California, Carlsbad, and New York, Goshen. International locations include Billund, Denmark, Windsor, UK, Malaysia, Dubai, Japan, Korea, Shanghai, and Germany. Thank you, Steve. Yeah. Okay, but my question is, what is landscaping glue? Bowtie. He says, I use landscaping glue when I build stone or brick beds for clients. What is it, though? Is it like a super glue with sand in it or something that has a color to it or something? I don't know what landscaping glue is or why we're building, why we're having landscape. It sounds to me like I'm picturing, for what you're using it for, I'm picturing it in like a tube with this thing. What are those things called? A caulking gun? That's what I'm picturing it in. Landscape adhesive is heavy duty exterior grade glue designed specifically to bond materials in outdoor all weather conditions. Okay. I thought I felt something crawling on me. I hope it's not a tick. Uses to secure concrete blocks, capstones, retaining walls, brick, stone, and timbers, providing a fast curing, flexible, and waterproof alternative. Okay, it is one of those things. Like ultra tough liquid nails. Tougher than liquid nails? Huh. Yeah, I've not heard of it or even where to get it. But cool. Cool. Robin says, oh, Vego beds. Yes, I have Birdie's beds. Epic Gardening has a great sale around Thanksgiving for them and lots of freebies. You can stack a discount code from some affiliate channels as well. Ooh, that's good to know. I suppose I should plug Greenstocks right now. Greenstocks, I have Greenstocks. I have not actually used them since I've been here because the deer just ate everything in them, including the strawberry plants. But when they can be protected from deer, they do really, really well. And a Greenstock is 30 to 36 plants in the space you can hug. And it does really well. If you get the spinner base, highly recommended. Bowtie and I were talking about the cap being insufficient, so I would not get the lid unless you want to move the lid every time. It has a hole in the side instead of the center. I don't think it should be that way, but you can drill your own hole. I mean, cover that other one and drill your own hole in it. That'd be a solution. But they are on super sale. This is their Mother's Day sale is their best sale of the year. I don't know how long the sale goes. I'm guessing through Mother's Day. But there is a link in the description of all my videos. And that link will give you $10 off your first purchase. So if you haven't purchased from them before, it gives you $10 off. And it also gives a little bit of a kickback to me. So that when I am ready, it's credit. So when I'm ready to, do that, then I'll be able to get a little bit off. So, yeah, they have biggest sale of the year. Yep. And you can shop their sale. I should show you what I'm looking at. That's what I should do. Hang on. Okay, let me show you what they have. Right now is Mother's Day sale. Greenstock sale ends May 11th. That's Monday. They have some neat ones out again this year. They have some berry cups too, which I kind of question how you water that. You have to water it like with a wand or something, like a fairy. No, because the watering system doesn't include that, but it'll be good. Let me share this. Share screen. Okay, so this is their website. Excuse me. This is a website, Greenstock, and then biggest sale of the year, $50 off vertical planters and free gift. You can go to shop the sale. They have all these different things. They have add-ons. They have a whole bunch of different things in a bunch of different colors. In the past, the colors have been like sometimes available type things. They have these little supports that you can have, or these are like frost protectors over here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm pointing at and the picture moves. If not, that's fine. A carrot cap? What is that? It must be so you don't get things in the watering system. There's the berry cups. Yep, more discount. I highly recommend getting a spinner base. You can get a solid one. That's a solid one. But I highly recommend getting this. Verna, you had this one, right? The one with the supports, I believe. I highly recommend getting a spinner base because you literally just turn it once a day or every 2 days, and it gives a different amount of sun to that area. And so they are expensive, but they are also very, very good. Like the watering system works. It waters everything pretty much evenly. The very top is going to be a little bit drier than the rest, but other than that, it's pretty darn cool. And you can grow a lot of food or flowers if you want. Highly recommended for strawberries. And there you go. Yeah, highly recommended for strawberries and leafy greens. And I think Verna even grew some sweet potatoes in them, right? And they're really great for small spaces. And I mean, I did have, you have to put them in something that doesn't freeze. And I made that mistake my first year here. I thought one of the rooms in the house was insulated. It was not. And my peppers froze. But you can have peppers in a green stalk in the tall ones. And I had peppers that were 3 years old. And then I moved here and then I overwintered them in what I thought was an insulated space, and it was not. And they died. But if you could overwinter them inside or in a freeze-free area, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, let's see what people have said. Bowtie says, far tougher. There's actually a heavy-duty liquid nails that I most frequently use. Cool. Bowtie says, I just showed a picture of the 4 green stock boxes Mrs. Bowtie bought down, what? Down home backyard gardening. Okay, I don't know what that is. On tonight's live, I was a guest. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Robin says, love my green stock. Just need to fertilize more this year. That's something that needs to happen in a green stock because it is a container gardener, and when you water, the nutrients go through. What I do is when I process my animals, I use the red water that results and water it with that. And that helps a lot because that all those nutrients go into there. You're supposed to only use water, but whatever, it works. All right, Bowtie says we have to go back and redo all our green stocks. This time we have to add perlite. Forgetting it was a huge mistake. But you are in an area that needs less moisture, right? So if you're in an area that needs more moisture, you might need vermiculite instead. Totally depends on where you are and how much rain you get and what the humidity is and all that. Yeah. Bowtie says Mrs. Bowtie has 12 of the strawberry cups. Good. Let us know how that works because I'm curious. Because essentially, I'm thinking it's still going to be connected to the main plant, and so the watering doesn't necessarily have to go through there, but then it can root better. And then once it roots, either it stays there or you can take it and put it somewhere. I'm thinking it's made to take and put somewhere because it looks like that might be a more reasonable thing to do. Yeah. Robin says, yes, spinner base for sure. I do a quarter turn a day. Yep. Bowtie says spinner base with wheels. We don't see it as a recommendation. The green stock does not exist without it. Wheels are optional though. Yeah, the spinner base, absolutely. I think almost everyone, I would recommend spinner base. Wheels, if you're going to move it, you can move it. If you're not, you're not. Just realize that if you do want to move it and you don't have wheels, you do have to kind of unload the whole thing. So, yeah. Verna says you can fill them up and grow lots of potatoes and sweet potatoes in them. Yep, absolutely. Robin says small tomatoes and bush cucumbers worked well last year. Good. Do you have the attachment thing that goes onto it so they can like vine on it? I think Verna did on one of hers. Yeah. So Verna says 2 years ago my green stalks were so full of large sweet potatoes and they got stolen. Yep. Robin says I need to definitely add more perlite to the marigold pockets. All right. Yep. Bowtie says Florida, high moisture, vermiculite, hold moisture, really don't need more moisture, perlite drains more. That's what I was saying. I was saying you might need perlite, but some people in dry areas might need vermiculite. Perlite and vermiculite, a lot of people confuse as being the same thing. They're puffed things. Perlite is a puffed rock that is naturally puffed. Vermiculite, as far as I understand, is human puffed. It's a high pressure puffage. Perlite is added to soil or potting soil or whatever when additional drainage is needed. Vermiculite is added to soil mixtures when you don't have enough retention of water. So it retains more water. So if you need more water in your soil, you use vermiculite. If you need less water in your soil, you use perlite. So there's your 2-second rundown. All right. Bowtie says we don't always put wheels on them. 2 of ours will never move. And that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, Robin says, oh, Verna, I need to try potatoes. Yeah, people do well with that. And yeah, go for it. Verna says, Robin, I put 1 sweet tater slip in each pocket. There you go. Bowtie says he had a tough time with Robin's marigold seeds. Mike at Look to Nature's Homestead sent the Day of the Dead marigolds. They have proven rock stars for him. Puffage, yes. You should know me well enough by now, Bowtie, that I will make up words. Because if nobody made up words, we would not be speaking a language. Therefore, puffage is a word. I don't know if it was before, but if so, it might have a different definition now. Robin says, I suck at germinating marigolds, but the snail method is the bomb. It turned out, wait. I don't know what you said, but I'm going to say it turned out well. Yeah. So snail method, I learned this from Robin's video. Snail method is when you have, I don't know, a piece of toilet paper. I don't remember what you use. Something, and you put the seeds in there. You wet it, put the seeds in there, fold it up, and then you spiral it, and they start in a spiral. And you can lay them out, or you can just take them off and put them in individual things or whatever. So hopefully I explained that somewhat accurately, Robin. If I didn't, let us know. Yeah, so Verna said when she puts her sweet potato slips in, by August they were peeking out of the ground. They were so large. That's amazing. That's amazing. Bowtie says, oh, I know you. I always love the words. You never know what you're going to get, right? Here you go. Bowtie says, I will try my first snail method then. I have everything I need. I will do that tomorrow. Good, good, good. Packing foam is your favorite medium, but bubble wrap works too. Packing foam, like, I guess I don't know what packing foam is. Are you talking packing peanuts that are hopefully the kind that dissolve? Are you talking styrofoam? Or packing foam? The only other packing foam I know about is like for eggs. And I don't think that's what you're talking about, is it? Thin sheets of closed self foam. Okay. Roll type foam. I still don't know what that is, but oh, I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the really dense, like they're usually square sheets that you wrap like breakables in. I think I know what you're talking about. 1/8 inch thick. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, looks like paper is foam. A little, yeah, it's thicker than foam. Okay, okay. Yeah. I haven't ever done that. I do know we started seeds like in elementary school in a baggie with, you know, a piece of paper towel or something, and it worked great. Okay, you can reuse that over and over too. Okay. It doesn't, like, the roots don't grow into it. That's good to know. It's good to know. Yeah, I remember you did something about that, and I was like, I've never heard of this. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, I pretty much plant things either into the ground or into a pot with potting soil and then a little bit of seed starting mix at the top. That's what I typically do. All right. Yeah, Bowtie says I'm going to try it with butcher brown paper. I have a ton of it from Amazon orders, but we'll keep an eye out for foam. Yeah, now that I know what you're talking about, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, which is a very silly thing to say, right? A very silly thing to say. Yeah. You use that as coloring paper, Verna. That makes sense. That makes sense. I remember somebody had an old dot printer. You know, when the paper was like a stripe of white, a stripe of green, a stripe of white, a stripe of green. And with that, it was really that was what we used for coloring on it. I don't think we ever had a dot printer. I don't know where we got all this paper from. Somebody must have gotten rid of a dot printer and gave us the paper. It was the kind with the tear off, little hole punch things on either side. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Robin says butcher paper doubled up would probably work. Good tip. Bowtie, I did not design this shirt. He's asking, why do friends not count friends quail? I I don't like this part of it. I think it's stupid, actually. I can say that now because it's been so long. I think this part of the statement's stupid, and then the rest of it's fine. Um, Hang out at QuailCon. I don't know if it's a play on words for something that I am unfamiliar with, but especially for a quail convention, I thought it was a stupid saying. Sorry if I don't, if I might just not get it, but the whole point of going to a quail convention is to talk about quail, and people are going to ask you, how many do you have? So I don't know the full story, and other quail people in here, if you have the full story, you can clue me in, because I always thought it was very silly and not helpful to start conversations. I've considered actually putting something over this, because it's, to me, it's not a friendly way of starting a conversation. Like it should be something different. Like it's a negative, not a positive. So personal opinion, it's been several years now, so I can say that. But again, it might be something that I'm just not clued into, and it might be a reference to something in popular culture that I don't know about. Yeah. Verna says, no judging how addicted friends are to hatching. But that's not what it says. Like, if that's what it means, that's not what it says. Somebody can clue me in. I'm fine with that. Bota says, yeah, double, triple, or quadruple thick butcher paper. Okay. Cool. Multiply quickly, and there are real quail addicts that just want more. That is totally true. And there is a hatching addiction that people have. Yeah, it is pretty cool to watch them hatch out, and then people have issues with processing them sometimes, so they just keep on hatching. Yeah, got to have some place for them to go. Bowtie says, aren't quail just rabbits with wings when it comes to procreation? Well, I mean, the rabbits do it themselves. You have to bring them together, but the rabbits do it themselves. The quail, you have to actually like incubate, because if you leave it up to them, you will get some babies eventually, but you'll have a lot of scattered eggs. And then you also have to have them in brooder, where you don't have to have that with the rabbits. So yeah. So my neighbor that calls almost every time we have a we have a live. Yeah. So yeah, in that respect, they're not the same, but yeah, people get addicted and then not know, like, oh, how to process them. Oh, I'm not going to kill any. It can be a problem, because they can end up in poor living situations if that happens. So yeah, I mean, there's solutions for that. I mean, there's people that hatch and then give them away, or hatch and then hatch them for someone that does use them. And if they just like the hatching process, they can just do the hatching process. So yeah. Verna says, most quail don't hatch their own eggs. That is why it's about hatching addiction. Yep. Yep. And they can. I've had them hatch in my aviaries before, but it's not a common thing. Yeah. So anyway, if someone can clue me into if this is a reference to something, then I would like to know. But I think it would have been nice to have a more supportive saying. Because to me, this says don't talk about it, and that's not friendly. But you go with the flow. You get the shirt that goes with it, and go from there. Bowtie says, I think it's just the procreation and hatching thing. It's a baby thing, maybe. People like to have baby animals. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, if someone can clue me into what that was supposed to mean, let me know, because my current attitude is that it's silly, and there's better better things to put on a shirt. Anyway, Verna says, Katrina, at one point in the apartment, I had enough quail that I was getting 50 eggs a day. Yep. And Bowtie does not understand until this moment. 50 eggs? Yes. Verna had quail in her apartment, and they lay an egg a day, sometimes two, sometimes less than one. They lay every 18 hours about, but that can like shift. But yeah, they lay an egg a day when they have light, and it's good. Now, 50 eggs, divide that by 4, and that'll tell you how many chicken eggs that adds up to. About 4. A quail egg, the quail eggs that I had when I was raising quail, to equate to a large chicken egg, it was 3 yolks and 4 whites of quail eggs. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 50 eggs a day is totally doable. And she had a cage system. Yeah. She also had rabbits at one point as well indoors, which is good. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys are interested in the snail method, Robin Gardens has some videos on that, and she's done it before and seems to work for her. I've seen other people say that it doesn't work, but if you're going to try something and see if it works, you got to go with the methods that works for someone. So you can go ahead and watch her videos that came out. Yeah, Bowtie says I'm normally a day behind watching. I listen to a lot of things, and sometimes I'm not completely listening when I'm listening. Sometimes it's, oh, I'm doing something and that's in the background, and oh, what did you say? Let me stop and listen again. I'll listen to a lot of things when I'm on the computer or stuff like that. So yeah. Robin says, do quail eggs taste like chicken eggs? I've had duck and they do taste different. It tastes closer to duck than chicken. So it has a different protein. I don't know if it's the same protein as duck. Steve or Verna, do you know if it's the same protein as duck that quail eggs have? I know that if you're allergic to chicken eggs, you likely can have quail eggs, but they have more of everything. So per volume, they have more of everything. So all the nutrients, everything they have more of per volume. And they are more filling, I find, just like duck eggs are more filling than chicken eggs. And I think that probably has to do with the amount of protein, maybe fat as well. But there's a lot more nutrition just as a general. What's the difference? It has a different protein. It has more nutrition. It also has, quail eggs also have, and Stephen Verna, maybe you can, if either of you remember what it's called, the enzyme in the whites that are raw. There's an enzyme in raw quail egg whites that is really good for you, and it's actually been studied in many medical journals, and it seems to be like, if you go down that rabbit hole, it seems to be like a cure-all. But it does not, it's not useful. It breaks down if it's cooked. So a lot of people, well, some people will just like snip it off and down it. I'm not doing that. But putting into a smoothie works well. Some people mix it in. I think some people mix it into coffee. I'm not a coffee person, so I don't do that. I mean, as long as it doesn't cook it, it's fine. People mix it into things. But whatever the enzyme is, it does good things, just medically good. It does good things over time. They have a less chance of salmonella. I won't say no because I don't want to be that person. But they have a less chance, and they are really good. They do affect, like, if you're going to bake with them, they bake similar to duck eggs because If you're a baker, you're gonna choose a duck egg over a chicken egg any day. The way they come out, it comes out wonderfully, and so it's gonna be very similar to duck eggs as far as baking goes. So yeah, they're super good. If you do start growing quail, I mean, I have a course, raising quail and aviaries course on my website, um, and maybe you guys can find the link for that. Uh, so that's a course. It's $25, and it's worth it. There's a lot of good information in there. Now we do have, there's YouTube videos, and I'm here every week. We ask questions, but honestly, that's organized and goes through some stuff in great detail, more detail than what I have on my YouTube videos. That's for raising quail and aviaries. You can raise them in a hutch system. You can raise them in a cage system. You can raise them inside, outside, garage, whatever you want to do. They're very versatile, and they're very very cool to raise. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna find that link and just get that real quick so people have it. Here we go. There we go. There's a link for that. So yeah, they're different. I mean, an egg is an egg is an egg, but also an egg is different than another egg. So yeah. All right. Yeah, so Verna's talking about it being richer in B vitamin complex than chicken eggs, and everything that is in there. Uh, there's more yolk than white in quail eggs. Yep, absolutely. And Lucy's telling her she needs out now. All right. Thanks for being here, Verna. Say hi to Lucy. Robin says going to say night 2. Long drive home from Wisconsin today. I'm yawning. Nice chat as usual. Thanks for coming on and sharing your snail stuff. Thank you, thank you. And Desiree, we're just now signing off. So hello and goodbye. Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you're doing good. So all right, guys. Well, we'll be back on Monday, and Monday's Verna's birthday. So I don't know if she's going to be on Monday, but we'll say happy birthday. So, all right, we will see you Monday. Have a lovely weekend, and a happy Mother's Day to those mothers that are mothers. And we will see you later. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.